All right, G. You're on.
Alright, so my project is about testing the effects of drugs on, like the antibacterial properties of drugs.
Before we continue, can you make sure to point out when stuff is proprietary information and when is stuff that we can discuss freely?
Sure. I think this is all stuff we can discuss freely.
Okay.
Based on the content of what's in here.
Okay. All right.
So just really quick background. I worked at Medtronic this summer, which is a medical supply company in Monmouth Junction. And what they're doing right now is that this is all free stuff, like freely conversible. Their product is a pouch that you can wrap a pacemaker around that can be put in the body and protects the body from infection, from bacteria after the surgery. And then it resorbs into the body and builds scar tissue around. So their claim, their like tagline is that their product specifically releases drugs into the body that help prevent infection. So that's what I was working with this summer. I was working with the drug that they put on the pouch, and I was working with product stability. And carrying the project over, they were testing their product includes two different drugs, rifampin and minocycline. These are two drugs that they use in their product to fight bacteria in the body. And I was gonna bring these two drugs back to Pingree and test their antibacterial property on other bacteria to see like how much Medtronic's product can actually fight.
Okay.
So I just had to this is stuff that I had to do outside of Medtronic. I was finding the right procedure to test the product. There are many procedures that can work for testing antibacterial growth. There's e-test, there's agar dilution.
And which did you plan on doing?
The most common one, and the one I planned on doing, is the agar diffusion, the first one listed on there. It's the most common and effective. And what it involves is simple bacteria plating, and then checking, like you put the drug into small.
Okay. So how old is rifampin and the other drug?
How old?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Are they commercially available?
Yes.
So then they've already done this.
Well, yes, but like we kind of want to see what other bacteria it can fight.
So
They haven't actually.
What other bacteria are you going to use, and could this potentially be hazardous bacteria that we're talking about? Like E. coli, but
That was actually going to be the future slides. Like,
oh,
Do you want to go ahead?
you can go ahead then if you're getting to it.
Just
yeah, no, I was gonna talk about the bacteria we can use because obviously one of the hindrances of experiment like this is that you can't just have any bacteria. It has to be safe for lab use and actually has to be applicable to what they're doing.
Okay. So why don't you get us to that slide?
This one? Yeah, this one. So the specific experiment, the specific protocol that I was talking about, the agar diffusion protocol, the papers that I found about it involve gonorrhea and sweat-related funguses, which is not something that we want to work with in the lab.
Right.
But I found one that was could be promising, which was don't know how to pronounce that.
Pseudomonas aeruginosa.
Yeah.
Pseudomonas, as far as I know, is BSL-2.
If it's BSL-2, we can't technically work with it.
I mean, it's pretty nasty.
I couldn't find the BSL rating for it.
My recollection of working with Pseudomonas in the lab was that it's pretty nasty stuff. When cultured, yeah, it's common and it's everywhere. It's in the soil.
It's like
but when cultured in large amounts, it can make you very sick. It's very like eye, and it can affect your eyes, and that's a pretty horrible infection. So I don't know.
It is biosafety level 2.
you did.
It's BSL-2?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
All right, move forward. Come on in, Steve. Or Mr. I don't know your last name. What is it? France.
So obviously, if Pseudomonas doesn't work, then we have to look for the right bacteria. But the implication being is that we would be able to grow bacteria, not necessarily Pseudomonas anymore, but any bacteria really, and test Medtronic's drug on it and see what its effect is.
I'm just like, if rifampin and the other drug have been tested, have been FDA approved, I mean, they've already done these trials. So what makes this trial different?
Well, from what I like looked up and like from the experience that I had like working with Medtronic is that they weren't able to find like, the bacteria that that this was tested against. Like they included it in their product because it's antibacterial, but I don't think like Dr. Pulapur I don't think he told me like what kind of bacteria it fights. Like I don't know if like.
But that's not the question I'm asking. The question I'm asking is the antibiotic included in the polymer, right? Rifampin. They've done work on that. Where's Andrew? Andrew, look up rifampin.
It turns your sweat orange.
What?
Turns your sweat orange.
Okay, but that's not helpful as to.
It is orange.
No, but it'll-
Is it commercially available?
Yeah.
So it's FDA approved.
it is,
Yes.
So they've done this.
I believe it's prescription.
Yeah, so they've done this.
So,
So does the polymer change the antibacterial properties of this thing? That might be the question you're
Say
asking.
that one more time.
Does the polymer change the antibacterial properties of rifampin?
It does actually. That was one of the things I had to work on when I was over there. Is that their polymer, like the more the polymer degrades, the less effective it is for their bacteria. Like the less the antibacterial effect occurs with their product. So like their polymer, it would like the proteins like when it degraded, it would kind of hinder the effect of minocycline specifically. And that's kind of one of the things I had to
Hinder or lessen?
Okay, lessen. What's the difference?
One works against, in one case, the polymer degraded products of the polymer work against the antibacterial agent. Whereas in the second case, the lessening like concentration of is the broken down polymer actually working against the effect?
Yes.
It is.
Yes. It is making the drug less effective.
So then the bacteria will grow.
So theoretically, I could treat bacteria with this.
Broken down polymer,
Broken down.
and they would be resistant to that.
You could rescue the resistance.
I think it's a lot more likely that
Well, I don't know if you can,
as a breakdown just means there's less
Why would you want to?
present.
I don't know if you can, right? I don't know.
You don't want
What do you
to
mean by
find out
rescue
what's
the
happening.
resistance?
You would be able to recreate the resistance in the bacteria by using the degraded polymer.
You wouldn't yes, essentially you'd be able to, you wouldn't recreate a resistance, you just render
Or
minocycline ineffective. The more the polymer degrades, the less effective the drug is. So it wouldn't make the bacteria resistant to the drug, it just means that.
No, okay.
though that is a problem with this drug is resistant. I was reading it. They actually use it for TB. It's an RNA. It binds to RNA polymerase. But it sounds like it's commonly used as in drug cocktails for TB. It is out there, and which leads me to believe they've tested it with a lot of bacteria. But what you're saying isn't really the bacteria. You're saying that what makes
Who's
it
you, me or
different-
G?
What?
Who's you, me or G?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're saying the interesting thing is that the polymer is using the degraded polymer in conjunction with the drug and the bacteria. Is that what because I didn't see that in your proposal that you were actually even doing
That to me is a much more interesting story.
Well,
Yeah.
that wasn't part of the proposal actually, because
Okay.
I mean yes,
That
you're talking.
sounds more interesting.
Okay, so just say that one more time. What sounds?
So,
more
because
interesting?
what it sounds like, and I think Mr. D was saying this,
Yep.
is what you're just doing is looking at the drugs, the
Yes.
ability for the drugs to kill bacteria.
Okay.
They've done that,
Yeah, for sure.
for sure. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a available drug.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Alright, but what makes this different is the possibility of using this polymer that's for the bag, that they make the bag out of, and how it affects the resistance, or the strength, basically, of this antibiotic.
So you're saying instead of the drug, we should look at the polymer?
Well, both.
Well,
She's
it would
looking-
have to
looking
be
both of them.
Here's the experiment, bro.
I'm,
Certain amount of antibiotic,
Yep.
high amount, kills bacteria. Keep the certain amount of antibiotic consistent,
And add the polymer.
and then add the degraded polymer in different concentrations.
Huh, okay. Yeah, I didn't consider that, but yeah, that makes sense. I mean,
and that's not something they've done.
it's not, no, it's not something they've done, it was what they were doing. It's actually currently,
Okay.
so like, yeah, that would be applicable.
Because then the bacteria itself really doesn't matter.
Oh, so, okay, yeah, so you're eliminating, so we're studying the
Then
polymer instead of the.
You can use E. coli, and that's fine. Right? You can use a non-pathogenic.
I think we're all in agreement here that we're sending G back to the drawing board with a new question.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.